क्या कैसे हिम्मत किया आने के लिए रेजिडेंशियल एकेडमी में?
सर ऑप्शन नहीं था और कोई, ऑनेस्टली। मतलब सेकंड प्रीलिम्स के फेलियर के बाद ऑल्दो आई प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर मेंस 3 महीने के लिए, बट उसके बाद फिर घर आ गया एंड द लिम्बो पीरियड स्टार्टेड। उसके बाद कुछ नहीं था करने को, प्रीलिम्स अभी बहुत दूर था। देन सर आई रिमेंबर जो मेल आया था आपका, एफआरसी का इनविटेशन मेल, दैट केम टू मी बिकॉज आई वाज अ पीटीएस स्टूडेंट लास्ट ईयर, वरना वो आता नहीं सर, एंड थिंग्स वुड हैव बीन वेरी डिफरेंट। बट वो मेल पढ़ के सर ऐसा लगा कि एटलीस्ट समबडी हैज टच्ड दैट नर्व, कि वो मेरे लिए ही आपने पर्सनली लिखा है। तो सर उस सब से सिलेक्शन 2 बार नहीं हुआ था, तो मैंने कहा एक बार छोड़ देते हैं, देख लेते हैं, जो बोलेंगे कर लेंगे। एटलीस्ट खुद से जो करना था कर लिया था सर 2 अटेम्प्ट्स में। उसके बाद नहीं हुआ था तो आई जस्ट ट्रस्टेड, लाइक गेव माई सेल्फ इन।
तो फोरम ने इसका पोटेंशियल जो देखा है और इसको जो तराशा है सर, उसके लिए सर फोरम को सैल्यूट है, दिल से बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद है। आई डोंट हैव वर्ड्स टू एक्सप्रेस माय ग्रेटिट्यूड फॉर फोरम इंस्टीट्यूट सर। दिस इज आई एम टेलिंग यू सर।
खुद सर शिक्षक हैं और उन्होंने अपने बच्चे को आईएएस बना दिया, तो कैसे?
नहीं सर, मैंने नहीं बनाया, ये मैं क्रेडिट नहीं लूँ, आपने बनाया है, मैंने उसको गाइड किया है बस। एंड एवरी ईयर स्टूडेंट्स आर कमिंग फॉर यूपीएससी प्रिपरेशन, आई विल टेल देम simply go to forum and start your preparation. They know how to make an IAS.
Welcome to the orientation for essay guidance program mains. Before we start, I want to ask how many of you have written essays for civil service, for UPSC exam? Quite a few. And the others who haven't, have you at least attempted essay or are familiar with what the essays are? Yes? No? Okay, how many of you are not familiar? Now, for UPSC, we have the first paper of the mains is the essay paper, 250 marks. In this paper, we have 2 sections, section A, section B. We write, in both the sections, we have 4 options, 4 topics in section A, 4 topics in section B, and we write 1 from each section in 1000 to 1200 words. This is what is fixed. Now, in terms of syllabus, UPSC also gives us a syllabus which is very broad-based as compared to others. So what is important for essays is the right mindset, that you should be in a good, that essays is very, very different from GS. So writing essays or approaching essays is very different from GS, because this is the only paper where we have 10 to 12 sheets. We have one single line at the top. There's no comment, analyze, evaluate. There's no question, just one statement, which everyone will interpret in their own way. And that is why the marks vary so much in the essay paper, right? So essays is going to be all about mindset, and this mindset helps us score good marks, right? So today, the objective of today's discussion is to introduce you to the essay writing, what is essays about, how you should start preparing for essays, and basic list of do's and don'ts. Okay? So this is what we expect from today's class, the expectations from the paper, challenges. We'll also brainstorm one topic together and starting the essay preparation. So this is the syllabus which UPSC has given us. The syllabus reads as: candidates may be required to write essay on multiple topics, 2 sections, 2 essays. They will be expected to keep closely to the subject of the essay, to arrange their ideas in orderly fashion, and to write concisely. Credit will be given for effective and exact expression. So one common concern a lot of us have is we don't know what to write in an essay. We don't know on what parameters are we being evaluated. So in a way, UPSC does tell us on what parameters it is evaluating us. So first is to keep closely to the subject of the essay. So the marks would be there for being close to the essay. So there is one topic: ships do not sink because of water around them, but because of water that gets into them. Of course, the challenge is how do we stay close to this seemingly metaphorical topic of ships do not sink because of water that is around them, but water that gets into them. So we will discuss over the course of the next 1.5 hours of how do we approach essays. But the objective in the essay is you should stay close to the subject of the essay, arrange ideas in orderly fashion, to write concisely, and credit will be given for effective and exact expression. Before we begin, we'll take a look at some topics from previous years. Now, how many of you feel that the topics earlier used to be GS and now are more philosophical? Most of us. But let's take a look at the 2014 topics. With great power comes great responsibility. This is also philosophical. With great power comes great responsibility. Words are sharper than two-edged sword. Yes, there are few topics which are more GS. Was it the policy paralysis or the paralysis of implementation which slowed the growth of our country? Is the growing level of competition good for the youth? And 50 goals in Olympics, can this be a reality for India? So 2014 is first time when we started getting two topics in, when we started writing two essays in UPSC. After this, there were some philosophical. First two, with great power comes great responsibility, and words are sharper than the two-edged sword. Philosophical topics. More on the lines of what is being asked today. And it's in 1819 that they started, they were very, very philosophical. They became more subjective. Alternative technologies for a climate change, resilient India. A good life is one inspired by love and guided by knowledge. Poverty anywhere is a threat to prosperity everywhere. A people that values its privileges above its principles loses both. And reality does not conform to the ideal, but confirms it. So these are the topics which were asked in 1819. Now the problem is that, let's say we choose this topic. Topic number 2. A good life is one inspired by love and guided by knowledge. So the biggest challenge in the exam is how do we write 12 pages on this? And we stay close to the topic, and we write effectively and exact expression, right? So the second observation which you should have, which we'll have for the more recent topics also, is that the keyword is there, poverty. But is this a poverty the way we read it in GS? No. Poverty anywhere is a threat to prosperity everywhere. So the topic has one familiar keyword, which is poverty. If we look at the more recent topics, such as, forests precede civilizations and deserts follow them. The doubter is a true man of science. Familiar keywords. But this is still not about putting your content that you've done in GS directly in the essay paper. An essay paper requires you to understand the topic from not just a perspective of an aspirant, but let's say an officer, to understand more broadly what the topic is saying, analyze it, and then put your content. This is the difference between GS and essay. So these are the topics from 2024, which is let's take a quick read together. Forests precede civilizations and deserts follow them. Second, the empires of the future will be the empires of the mind. Please, when you read this topic with me right now, try to understand, do you know the meaning of this sentence? At least some meaning. Is it forming in your mind or not? The empires of the future will be the empires of the mind. There is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path. And the doubter is a true man of science. Now, out of section A, how many of you would have attempted first topic? Do you need few seconds to think? Or have you made up your mind? Yes. How many of you would attempt first topic? Very few. 6, 7 maybe. Despite being a very GS topic, forest is a familiar keyword, only 6, 7 of us. The empire of the future will be empires of the mind. How many of you think you would write that? Lot more. Okay, lot more. And there is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path. Maximum so far. And the doubter is a true man of science. So these two topics hands down win and were also the most attempted topics. There is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path, and the doubter is a true man of science. Now, when we read these topics, we also see that it's not that we don't know them. They do ring a bell. We can think of something. Now, the only thing which we have to do is make our thoughts more coherent, complete, supplement with examples, and write in the paper. 1000 to 1200 words, not 700 to 800. Right? So we write 10 to 12 pages. Let's take a look at section B, and again we'll do this activity for section B. Social media is triggering fear of missing out amongst the youth, precipitating depression and loneliness. Social media is triggering fear of missing out amongst the youth, precipitating depression and loneliness. First. Next, nearly all men can stand adversity, but to test the character, give him power. Nearly all men can stand adversity, but to test the character, give him power. All ideas having large consequences are always simple, and the cost of being wrong is less than the cost of doing nothing. The cost of being wrong is less than the cost of doing nothing. How many of you would write on topic number 5, the first topic of section B? All the people in the front. Okay. Quite a big number. Nearly all men can stand adversity. How many of you would write? Okay. Similar, I will say 5 and 6. Now, this is a very good topic. All ideas having large consequences are always simple. All ideas having large consequences, very, very few. Although there's a PYQ on these lines, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. But still, we have very few takers for this. So I'll say only 3, 4. The cost of being wrong is less than the cost of doing nothing. So maximum students write on the first 2. But what this activity also tells us is that choosing a topic to write an essay was not very difficult. When you read the topics, you could clearly make out that this is what your thoughts align with. This is what you would find it easier to think on. And this tells us that essay topics, it's not that they're asking us anything. It's we can have our thoughts, and we do not just... they're not anything under the sky. You know, you can phrase your thoughts on this. Now, let's take a look at how is essay different from GS paper. So we've taken a look at 8 topics, many topics from all the topics from this year. We saw some familiar keywords in the topics. How do you feel is essay different from GS? What is your answer? What? Multiple interpretation. So he says that there is multiple interpretation in essay. What else? Okay. Okay, we can show more creativity in terms of creativity, in terms of interpretation, in terms of examples, in terms of expression. So essay is something which you can actually own, and it's totally up to you what examples you want to write. There are no keywords. In GS, we still have keywords. Any other difference you feel between essay and time to think? No other paper gives us 1.5 hours for one topic, 10 pages. So over here, essay is the only paper you actually take 20-25 minutes to think. Ideally, you should take 20-25 minutes to think. So this is the only paper which gives us 20-25 minutes for brainstorming. Any other difference? What experience? Sorry? We can share that. So essay is also so broad based that you can even use your own personal experience as an example or an anecdote. Of course, we do not write in first person, I felt this, but, or I saw this, but you can use that as an example, or your observations can be used as examples. Yes. Yes. GS is very mechanical and essays are not. This is also where we suffer in our essay preparation, where we try to make it mechanical or we try to put our content in templates. So when you try to put it in templates, the problem is you're not thinking about the topic. You have a fixed framework. You're trying to just put your content into those. So I will say that when I talk about mechanical, GS is mechanical, and this is where essay is different, where we should not be mechanical, we should be organic. We should be able to use our own experience. And I'll also add that there are no templates. There is no template. We do not do a pestle analysis for the topic. We do pestle in the example, arguments. Pestle analysis does not drive your complete essay. Pestle analysis is will just give you examples for your essay. But you get marks not for examples, but for ideas, but for what you are thinking, right? So this is the difference between essay and GS. And again, on the only paper which gives you 10 blank sheets, you can actually be yourself in this paper. You can actually, and even if you're not, it is visible. Somewhere in your writing style, the examiner will be able to make out your personality. And we'll see examples of that also. So this is the difference between essay and GS. Due to particularly this aspect, the preparation for essay is very different from GS. There are no keywords, there is no structure, but then a question should be, then how do we prepare? I'm sure few of you are definitely wondering, if there is no template, there's nothing mechanical, then how do we prepare? So in essay, there are two aspects of essay writing. One is, first we think what to write. There are two parts of essay writing: thinking what to write and writing it, which is the expression. Now, when we say what to write, is the brainstorming part, and you've commonly heard brainstorm your essays. Brainstorm, those 20 to 25 minutes of thinking, this is the foundation of your essay. So in the 20 to 25 minutes, you will brainstorm and you will think. What are the essay classes about? They're about brainstorming, developing a way of thinking which is effective and can be applied to any topic on the spot. There is a certain flow in topics. As I said that this year's topic, all ideas having large consequences are always simple, is very similar to simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. If you look at this topic, visionary decision making happens at the intersection of intuition and logic, is very similar to history is a series of victories won by scientific man over romantic man. Both topics deal with heart versus mind, intuition versus logic, romantic man versus scientific man. So if you've brainstormed your thoughts and ideas into a certain form, you'll be able to use that content again. Not the examples, but the ideas. That's the difference in essay and GS. Okay? So that was the 2021 topic, history. So this is how essay is different from GS. And since it is all about thinking, this also means that an important part of our classes is going to be interaction. You should be able to answer and interact and speak your point and believe in it, have conviction for your argument. Because if you have convinced, only then you'll be able to tell the examiner with conviction of what you know. Okay? So this is about being mechanical. Now we come to the syllabus again. The syllabus is, let's take a look at what is the meaning of the word keep closely to the subject of the essay. So I have said one thing, which is The topic should be visible in your arguments. Anyone else has a different or wants to add to this interpretation, keep closely to the subject of the essay. What does this mean to you? Keep closely to the subject of the essay. Okay, so we can touch ancillary ideas, but maybe not too much. You were saying something. Don't beat around the bush. So stick to the topic, don't beat around the bush. And everything that you argue should, in a way, address my topic. So it's not that I'm repeating my topic again and again, but I'm giving an analysis of the topic itself, not a keyword of the topic. Okay, this is a very common mistake. There's a long topic. You will just pick up one keyword. Let's say forests are best. Forests are preceded by this topic from this year. Let's say 2023. Decision making. Visionary decision making happens at the intersection of intuition and logic. So your essay should not be 50% intuition, 50% logic, and then you'll combine these two and show me visionary decision making. Okay. Similarly, girls are weighed down by restriction, boys with demands, two equally harmful discipline. Common problem, common mistake. We say that it's a complete topic. Let me spend 3-4 pages in explaining girls are weighed down by restriction. 3-4 pages on boys weighed down by demands. And then 3-4 pages on two equally harmful discipline. Now the problem is the whole statement is one topic. The whole statement is one topic. So the syllabus says stay closely to the subject of the essay. So you stay closely to the subject of the essay from the introduction itself. The topic is the whole. It's not girls, it's not boys. It is how these two are equally harmful disciplines. So there is a tendency that we break down the topic into two and we address it like that. And then we say synthesis and something. You know, you break down the topic and then you synthesize it together and you say my essay is done. But again, this is a mechanical approach. It's like, I just had to do something. I wanted to write 12 pages, content thani. So let me just write 3 pages, 3 pages, 3 pages, 9 pages done. 1 page introduction, 1 page conclusion, 11 pages essay over. If you are doing a formality of writing an essay, the marks will also address that formality. You know, you'll get marks accordingly. I hope this makes sense to us. Yes? So the first part of the syllabus says, keep closely to the subject of the topic. This means that you can definitely discuss ancillary ideas, but not in as much detail as the main topic. And you stick to the topic, but does not mean you hence prove the topic. You generate discussions around the topic. Okay? So for example, let's read this together. The topic is 2 cheers for democracy. 1, because it admits variety, and 2, because it permits criticism. So 2 cheers for democracy. 1, because it admits variety, and 2, because it permits criticism. So a student wrote the essay on this, and on 1 page, she wrote, I want everyone to read this, okay? Democracy allows diverse groups to mobilize and pool their power together to emerge a dominant force in the polity. For example, the Rainbow Movement in USA, despite catering to a minority group, the LGBTQ community garnered sizable political importance owing to the democratic credentials of the country. LGBTQ rights issue is being talked about and even accepted in democratic states around the world. Even in India, hue and cry was raised when Supreme Court's judgment something. Now, please, if you want to read this again, read it again, read the topic, and tell me what do you recognize as right or wrong in this passage. Okay, it somewhat deals with variety but does not deal with the complete topic. Anything else? Anyone else? Topic.
Our paragraph 2 is talking about Supreme Court judgment. It is moving away from the topic.
Okay. So he says that paragraph 1 deals with the demand of the topic, whereas paragraph 2 is focused more on, I would say, the Supreme Court judgment and the impact and the LGBTQ community in India, or what are we doing, etc. But not the topic itself. Anyone else? Yes, the example is taking much more space. The argument is only this much. This is the only thing the student is writing. Everything else is an example on the screen. Do we also see that? Now, if you read the argument is democracy allows diverse groups to mobilize and pool their power together to emerge a dominant force in the polity. My question is, also please observe 2 cheers for democracy. 1, because it admits variety. So the topic is actually highlighting how democracy actually gives an equal voice to everyone, and and it permits criticism, whereas this one does not really seem to address that. And someone online also rightly says that it's not closely to the theme of the question. So it is not addressing the theme of the question, which is because it admits variety. It's in fact saying that LGBTQ did not have a voice in the democracy. They have to push for it. In a way, it's not agreeing to the topic. Yes? So it is very important for us to understand what the topic is saying and to address it completely, to not get carried away. This student got carried away with the example. This example, it suddenly seems, is the only thing happening in the entire page. The only thing happening is not the topic, not democracy, but the focus is this community. Yes? So do not get carried away in your essay. Do not be too much emotional about a topic, about an example. I'll give an example. Recently, I was reading an essay. A student writes, again, 1-line argument. That's okay, but the example is on Operation Sindoor. So throughout the essay, everything is going fine, argument, small example, but suddenly there's an entire page on Operation Sindoor. India, Pakistan, this happened, that happened. I was like, okay, you're emotional about this, but you do not be emotional in your essay paper. In your essay, you have to be balanced, the way you were balancing everything else. Similarly, it's very easy to write more on women power, and then forget that what was the topic, and we write on just one thing which we feel about. Particularly PSIR optional students do this, which is they write about the theories which they've studied about, and then they say that wo to hamara theory tha. So we thought it's very aptly fitting, but the problem is for PSIR, you have 500 marks of 2 papers. Essay is not where you do PSIR. You do PSIR in your optional papers, not in essay paper. So I hope you understood the importance of staying close to the topic and how it comes across as. So the second part of this syllabus says, arrange ideas in an orderly fashion. Now, when we say arrange ideas in orderly fashion, why do you think it's important? Maintain the flow. Okay. Why else? So he says that the essay also feels abrupt if it is not in orderly fashion. Now, to understand the syllabus, I'll also go back to the mindset that we started with. So we have an essay paper for a certain reason. In GS, our knowledge and our ability to analyze is being evaluated. In the interview, our personality and our expression, our ability to answer is being evaluated. In an essay paper, again, our personality is being evaluated, but in a written expression. So we are appearing for this exam to become an officer. So what do they expect? They expect you to think like an officer to begin with. They expect you to have some structure in your thoughts, to have a more holistic understanding of things around you. This is why I have been focusing so much on ideas and thoughts, because what is being evaluated is who are you? Do you know how to think? If you are being, let's say, we all get selected and we are in our district and there is some problem in our district, you face a challenge. Do you say that, oh, I don't know, I've never read this before, how do I solve it? Or are you a person who would actually go forward and look for a solution? An essay also tests your ability to be solution oriented. An essay is testing how structured are you. If you are in a meeting and it's something about, you've not directly read it, but do you have certain thoughts on it? Do you have the ability to at least put 1, 2, 3, 4 in a straight line? Can you put your thoughts in an orderly fashion or not? And this is why essay, also the syllabus says, arrange ideas in an orderly fashion. Arrange your ideas in an orderly fashion. You're not moving around, hopping from, let's say somebody's writing from modern Indian history, and we start with Quit India movement, we go back to 1857, then suddenly Gandhi ji enters, then we go back. You can't keep tossing around in your essay. We don't do that in GS, we definitely don't do that in essay. Counter arguments always come towards the end. You do not go against the topic at the start. You always agree with it, then you go slightly against it. So, orderly fashion becomes very, very important. Let's take an example. We'll read this together. The topic is, one who cannot determine his goals cannot win. One who cannot determine his goals cannot win. I've highlighted page number for you, so it's very important that this is page number 3, page number 4, and page number 5. Okay? Let's read it together. So when a child like Harbhajan Singh enrolls into a cricket academy, he cannot see the goal of becoming the greatest bowler from day one. At first, he is like a fool, trying to understand game technique, exploring his interests, managing his emotions, and showing dedication towards work. However, some students may not be able to determine goals or even change goals after university or midlife. For instance, Boman Irani was a photographer for many years before he became the famous actor. Nevertheless, an aimless life can indeed be harmful. Such a person may stagnate. An aimless life can indeed be harmful. Such a person may stagnate and may never achieve even his basic happiness in life. Unfortunately, poor beggars fall in this category. They don't even have the basic goal of sustaining their livelihood through unskilled work. Poor beggars fall in this category. They don't even have the basic goal of sustaining their livelihood through unskilled work. They are caught in an endless pursuit of basic want, especially when they refuse to work. Okay? Now tell me what is right and what is wrong in this essay. There's something right and something's wrong. Very extreme. What is the extreme part? Okay, so this example is very extreme and it's in the negative light. Anything else? So the passage is saying, the essay is saying that aimless life is so bad that you will never attain anything. Okay? An aimless life can indeed be harmful. Such a person may stagnate and may never achieve even his basic happiness. So this is again something we don't know why it's been written. Anything else? Coherence. When you say coherence, what do you feel is? He's not concluding the examples. Can you give, very rightly said, but which example is not being concluded?
For example, he started with Harbhajan Singh, but then again he argued however students may not be able to.
So we don't know why Harbhajan Singh, very rightly said, the coherence is not there because the essay starts with Harbhajan Singh, the example.
It looks like all the examples are coming in his mind and he's just trying.
Yes. So what is apparent is that the examples were coming in the mind and the students just putting them down. There's no flow of thought. So the student thinks of Harbhajan Singh for some reason, I don't know, some reason, but does not end it. So we don't know why Harbhajan Singh came. Immediately we go to another thought, which is some students may not be able to determine goals. Bomar Irani comes. If something which we did not notice is Bomar Irani is actually against the argument. Yes, so this is the example is not sustaining the argument itself. The argument says students may not be able to determine goals or even change goals after university, whereas Bomar Irani was successful in doing that. So the example is actually incorrect. The example should have been someone who is not able to do this. Yes, so that's also a problem. The next problem is continuing with coherence. Nevertheless, an aimless life can indeed be harmful. So we don't know why. Until now, these people have some aim. And suddenly we are going towards an aimless life. So do you see that you've read 3 pages, 2.5 pages, but you don't know what you read? It does not add up. It does not make sense. The good thing is language and grammar is perfect. There's no grammar mistake. The language is also correct. It's an easy read. As you were reading, you could understand what is being written. But what needs to be fixed? What is being written? Right?
I think that all the examples that have been written, they're all in negative light. And what the topic is demanding, I think there should be some positive examples.
Yes. Now comes the bigger problem. The bigger problem is that all 3 examples are written in negative light. I had said at the starting that an essay also shows a personality. So now this essay is also showing me the personality of a person who writes extreme. You know, kuch to soch ki likha hai. Where you say that the poor beggars fall in this category, they don't even have the basic goal of sustaining. They don't want to work. They refuse to work. It's showing the personality of a person. Yes, that's the problem. But this is assuming that it's a choice and they refuse to work and they only want. They are caught in an endless pursuit of basic want, especially when they refuse to work. Very fatalist, very opinionated, and not a good opinion. Not an opinion suited of a civil servant. Right? So we will not realize, we may not be this extreme, but there will be times when we might be opinionated in our own essay. Not this extreme, but we might be. I feel there is another bigger problem, which is the topic is one who cannot determine his goals cannot win. We are on page 3 of the essay. Probably the student has just given an introduction, page 1, page 2, and we're already against the topic. We're already against the topic. One who cannot determine his goals cannot win. So I'll give you 2 minutes. Please think, what do you feel is the meaning of this? What would be the core idea of this topic? Take a minute, think. I'll ask you. If you have a pen and paper, write it down. What is the meaning for you of the core, of the topic? On what lines would you have written this? The core idea, the core meaning of the topic. Okay. Anyone who wants to answer? Tell me. Just tell me the meaning. So you should have your goal clear in your mind when you're starting, because it is this journey towards the goal which will help you achieve it. Rohan, tell me. You were discussing. So there should be a vision first, a goal first, prior to acting on and starting a journey. One who cannot determine his goals cannot win. Schematic solution, systematic solution to the problems through analyzing, planning. Anyone? Sorry? Hard work leads to success. Now the problem with all of us is that we've been focusing on the keyword goal. You want to add? Yes. Now this is the answer. Now when I talk about goals, so the problem in most of these answers were that we were focusing on goals. The topic instead says one who cannot determine his goals cannot win. So it's saying that in a way that you should know your goal, because if you've not determined your goal, it is very difficult to go ahead and win it. If your goal is not clear in your mind, so yes, if the goal is there, but the topic is slightly different. Okay, which is that if the goal is not there in our mind clearly, then you will not be able to put in the right effort in the right direction, and you will not be able to win. Now the problem was this essay is not addressing it. This essay which the student has written, Harbhajan Singh, Boman Irani, Aimless Life, is not addressing all the topic at all. It's not talking about the end path. Okay. So this makes it, we go back to two things of our syllabus, which is keep closely to the subject of the essay and arrange your ideas in orderly fashion. Now the third is write concisely. We've already seen in the previous one. Do you also notice that a good thing is it was concisely written? The examples were just one line and they clearly said what they wanted to say. This is a good thing. The examples were clearly written. Very rightly said by online students also, it is important to set specific goals to achieve success. Goals provide a direction, basic target, else we will be running in a marathon without any finishing line. Very rightly said, Arav. Goals provide a direction, basic target, else we will be running in a marathon without any finishing line, like people waiting for prelims result. So the good things were the language, the coherence, at least of the language, you could understand, no grammatical mistake, good handwriting, and the examples are small, which is the next part of the syllabus, write concisely. At least the student knew example mein what is it that they're trying to show. In the first page, in the first write-up we saw, the student did not know what she's trying to show. At least here, we knew what we are trying to look at. You see the difference in the two? Now this is again a common problem, and we'll read one more example. Okay? Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. Still, creating yourself is given more emphasis than finding yourself generally. It is because in the process of finding oneself, self, one can overly attain importance to self. This, along with ignorance, intolerance towards others, and hostility, can result into tension and havoc in the world. No one really wants this. Now the choice of words is, no one really wants this. People want to live peaceful and prosperous lives. This can only be achieved through cooperation and mutual advantage. This can lead to help everyone develop and create their lives as they wish. So do you see that it's off topic for sure? What else? All the problems that we discussed till now, they're there. It's off topic, beating around the bush. Grammar is a problem, so we could not appreciate what's being written. Very, very long para. A lot of us, when we write our first essay, we write 1-page long paras. This is also what the examiner is feeling for your essay. What are you feeling right now? So still creating yourself is given, and the argument's not there. The example again is negative. No one really wants this. The choice of words. No one really wants this. Feels as if it's a general WhatsApp discussion going on. We're just having a chat with our friend and we say, oh, I don't want this. Yeah, people want to live peaceful. I feel another problem is that it says this can only be achieved. The only way of achieving this is cooperation and mutual advantage. This can lead to help everyone develop and create their lives as they wish. So, a lot of problems, right? But the topic is life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. Not being addressed in the essay at all. We come to the next thing, which is challenges. So we've seen 3 pages from essays, different essays, 3 topics. If you've written essays or you've not, what do you feel are the challenges that are there in writing an essay? Sorry? The impactful introduction, okay. Anyone else? The topic interpretation itself. What else? Okay, argument generation. What else? Argument. Topic interpretation, topic selection. Now what else? Argument generation. You're unable to find arguments, and arguments are less than examples. Expression and flow. Okay. So there's always a discussion on how long should which part of the essay be. How long is the introduction? How long is the conclusion? Okay. What else? Arranging the arguments in an orderly fashion, very important. Syllabus says that itself, right? What else? How to not make it mechanical. Arguments and mechanical flow. Okay? And we will see that most of us face the same problem, which is how do I start writing an essay? When you to address this, the other common problems are time management. Very, very common problem, time management. Then how to make sure that the introduction and the conclusion, I will not say only introduction, but the conclusion also is relevant. Headings deni hai, nahi deni hai. Should I give headings? Should I not give headings? Should I write small paragraphs, big paragraphs? How big a paragraph is okay? How big a paragraph is okay? How to make sure that my first essay and second essay are different and unique. So, okay. Flow and coherence, already discussed. Brainstorming, arguments. Then a very common thing we do is we choose the most difficult topic because we think I'll be the only one writing it. Now the problem is, since it's difficult and you're the only one writing it, you might not write a good essay. You should write a topic which is comfortable for you. The examiner does not care if you're the only one. What he cares about is it's a good essay, right? So I'll address these problems one by one. Online students say, thinking of all themes to be written in the start itself, which is the brainstorming. Explaining argument, very rightly said. Arguments and how much detail of arguments do we give? In one of the write-ups we saw, one of the problems was the argument is one line. So how much detail should we give? Can't find enough ideas to write 10 to 12 pages, but only 5 to 6. How many of you face this problem? Few of us. That our essay is small, it's unable to go to 10 to 12 pages. Explaining points rather than giving examples extensively, and no thesis statement. Yes. Now, to deal with these problems, first and foremost is when you select a topic, we saw topics today. You will have a basic understanding of at least one topic in both sections which you feel belongs to you, which you would be able to interpret. That is the topic we write an essay on, whose interpretation is absolutely clear. Not because it's related to your optional PSIR, but because the words are simple, you understood the core idea. What is the topic saying? Okay? So this is how you select a topic, not because it's your optional. In fact, if it's closer to your optional, don't take it, because it's very, very difficult to draw a line where to stop. You would not know where you're exceeding the boundaries and it's PSIR and not, or sociology and not essay, general. Then after you select your topic, topic interpretation. This problem happens because we are used to writing GS. This is also a difference in GS and essay. As soon as we see a GS question, we are used to processing it alongside, quickly start writing an answer, 7 minutes, answers up. In an essay paper, we take 20 minutes to think. You should think for 20 minutes, what does this topic mean? So you have 1 or 2 minutes to think about the topic. But the problem is we tend to forget this and we directly jump into writing an essay. So instead of starting to write your essay, first or directly thinking of arguments, as somebody says, that argument generation is not happening, brainstorming. That's not happening because you did not spend a moment to understand what is the topic saying. Right now, when I gave you some time to think about the goals topic, you took a minute to understand the topic. For most topics, it is required. So take that time. This will make topic interpretation easy. Also, in classes, we will be brainstorming a lot of PYQ topics and understanding them, so that even if it's a new looking topic, you would understand it more easily and effectively. So this is the topic interpretation. If this is a challenge for you, take a minute, 2 minutes, think about it. It will make sense to you. Now, impactful introduction. For how many of you feel that you suffer with introduction? Lot of us. Now, what is an introduction? An introduction is basically laying a premise to your entire essay. It's explaining what the essay is about, what is the line of discussion, and telling the examiner you've understood your essay, your topic, and he knows the lines on which you'll be discussing. So in a way, your introduction is your best example, which captures the meaning of the whole topic. It may or may not be an anecdote. It could be an example. It could be a story. It could be a quote, which brings out the meaning of the topic. So it is not necessary that the introduction has to be something very specific and you have to learn them. And this brings me to a very important point, which is all of us depend on notes. Again, this is because we are used to notes in GS. But the difference in essays is that essays do not need notes. Now the difference is essays, when we go with notes, for example, happiness essay, this year, there is no path to happiness, happiness is the path. A lot of students had already read that essay. And then they went to the exam. Instead of brainstorming, there's some topper who's written on this topic. And they thought that, wo usko marks aaya tha, I should write what he had written in his essay copy that I've read. And then it led to a lot of clutter because you could not think yourself. You were trying to put content that you've read, but both of them got mishmashed and it was not a good essay. And then the marks dropped. So a lot of students who wrote on happiness essay have not scored good lot of them were trying to bring in the content which others were writing, which other had already written. Similarly, let's say the topic is poverty. Poverty, we just saw the PYQ. Poverty anywhere is a threat to democracy everywhere. Let us say this is the topic. Prosperity everywhere. So if you go with the mindset that I have poverty, I have these 5 quotes, 2 examples, 1 movie, I want to write it. If it's not fitting, instead of compromising on your examples, you will compromise your argument. You will try to create an argument around the example. It should be vice versa. Who is the hero of your essay? It's the ideas, the thoughts. Examples support it. In our GS answers, in our GS copies, we write our answers as 1 something example, 2 something example. So the focus of our GS answers is on the point or on the example? On the point. Similarly, in the essay, these points are arguments. The focus should be on the argument you're trying to make in the context of the topic, supported by an example. But when we go prepared, we are going with examples, not with the points. And we compromise on our points for the example. I hope everyone's with me on this. Yes? So when we talk about introduction is nothing but your best example which fully captures the essence of the topic. So ideally, you brainstorm it in the end. You brainstorm your complete essay. This tells you what your thoughts are properly. Then you think, what would be my introduction? You know, like the preface of the Constitution was made later, was added later. Similarly, we do the introduction of the preface later. Coherence and expression and flow, they are very similar. How do we deal with them is when you brainstorm, all that you have is 5 or 6 different ideas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The problem is we quickly thought of the topic. We thought of these 6 things. This is what I want to say. Maybe some example, and we start writing. You did not create a flow here. The problem is you did not try to create a flow. If you're not creating that flow in your essay itself, in the stage of brainstorming, you will not have a flow at the time of writing your essay. So when you brainstormed, you have these 5 or 6 different arguments. It's wise to put few minutes and think what comes after what. A comes after B comes after C. But you will have to think at this stage, what is the story or the narrative I'm telling? And this will help you be more coherent in your essay. Okay? So if you've not been writing essays or you experience a problem of coherence, try doing this. It will get resolved. If not, we'll discuss again.
Ma'am, while writing an essay, sometimes I repeatedly fail this problem because at the stage of brainstorming, I don't get any ideas. Once I start writing, ideas start flowing in my mind. How should I write at that point?
A very common problem that when I'm brainstorming, I'm not getting any ideas. But when I start writing, the points start coming. So this means that we do 2 things. First is we practice brainstorming consciously. That we try to think of the different arguments, because once you start writing, the topic is flowing in your mind, is why you start thinking of ideas. Why it is not a good exercise to think and write on the spot? Because you're not able to create a coherent structure. There might be some points which you think later, but you feel that they should have come at the start. There's no coherent structure. So I would say at this stage, we still have time when we are preparing. So consciously try to brainstorm. If you think of more examples, think, why is this example a part of this essay? That reason is your argument. Okay? So if you're experiencing problems where you feel that you start writing an essay and then the points are coming, you don't. So you practice brainstorming. Yes, this is also again a common problem where as we start writing, as I said for the introduction, once you have the entire topic in your mind, you'll start thinking better and introduction will be more effective. So probably you get better points because the topic's now running in your mind. You've seen it from top, bottom, left, right, center. So if this is happening, practice more brainstorming. If you're brainstorming for 10 to 15 minutes, do not leave your pen. Do not stop brainstorming until another 10 minutes. Ideas will come. Think, ponder more on every argument that you have. Why do we get points when we start writing? Is because that particular argument that we had is now the only thing we are thinking about, which is giving us more points. नहीं होता. Now we have time. Now you improve your brainstorming. If you feel that there is a pressure, yes, essay in an essay paper is the only time where time management should ideally not be a challenge. A lot of you agreed to time management being a challenge. This is the only paper where we get 1 hour, which is 60 minutes, to write 12 pages. If this was GS, you had only 35 minutes. It is this paper where you get 60 minutes instead of 35. Assuming you're brainstorming for 30. Assuming you're brainstorming for 30 minutes, half an hour, which is a lot of time. You get 60 minutes to write 12 pages, which is good amount of time. So you should be able to plan your essay. Okay? See, not every topic, I understand your question that he's saying that topic copies start with a quotation. You should start with, we have seen topic copies not start with a quotation, start with a quotation, start with a story, not start with a story. So you will see that there are all kinds of copies. What you should ideally recognize is what is your strength. What kind of introduction are you good at? If it's a story, you master the art of that story so that it is brief and crisp. You want to start with a discussion, discussion between person A and person B to prove your point. First, practice in the test because you do not want to start with A ne ye kaha, fir B ne ye kiya. Then this happened, then this happened. So you want to be more clear in your expression. So you practice it. I'll come back to your question. Okay? Yes. Now, another problem is headings and subheadings. Headings to give or not give. So what we do in headings, how many of you feel headings should be there? How many of you have a difficulty in giving headings? Very few. Sabko heading dena aata hai. Perfect. So then to doesn't deserve much of a discussion. Everybody is very comfortable with headings. But the question is, should we give or not? Now to answer this, I will say that headings to give or not depends on yes, to headings to give or not actually depends on your writing style. What headings do is it just helps us put our thoughts into 2 or 3 coherent boxes and gives a flow. If your writing style naturally had a flow and you know that A leads to B leads to C, even headings, even if you don't give, it's okay. How many headings to give? Definitely not 1 per page. So it's a 10-page essay, 1 page introduction, 1 page conclusion. How many headings to give? Not more than 3 or 4. Because if you're giving 1 heading per page, it's too small. It's just changing very, very quickly. So you'll struggle with finding the right headings. You'll struggle with giving content for headings, right? So ideally 3 to 4 headings and broad-based questions are not headings. Why we should live forward, why life is moving forward, why life is not standing still. These are not headings. Okay? If you have a problem, if you feel you're struggling with headings, you could prepare some headings, some common headings like dilemma, a common dilemma. There are headings which you would see in toppers copies. There would be headings which you've prepared yourself and multiple usage. Okay. So that's about headings. And if you want to give an example and you feel that you want to give an entire story behind it, I would say that it's not a good example. Because we should know very crisply what is it that I want to show in that example. If I have to first explain my example to show my point, it is not a good example. Okay? Now we'll do one brainstorming. The objective of this brainstorming is that it's a very GS topic. So let's see how we had content on this, but how to use it in essay. So you have few minutes. Please I'll answer. How can we, someone online has asked, how do we try to make our essay humorous? We do not try to make our essay humorous because it's a very formal piece of writing. It is very, very particular. It's not a joke. So we don't make our essay humorous, online students. Right? Bullet points. Okay, before brainstorming, let's just come back here. We do not give bullet points. We do not give diagrams. We do not give flowcharts. No flowcharts, no diagrams, no bullet points. Only paragraphs, subjective piece of writing, essay paper. How many paragraphs? What is rationally right? 2.5 paragraphs per page. Not one long paragraph, not too small, not too big. So 2.5 paragraphs per page. Now let's brainstorm. For water preservation, river coordination is the demand of today. You have 10 minutes. Please think of this. This is not break. It's work. Think. For water preservation, river coordination is the demand of today. For water preservation, river coordination is the demand of today. Not getting. Why? We have content from GS2 and GS3. Not getting. Oh, you're writing an essay. We are brainstorming. Okay. So for water preservation, river coordination is the demand of today. Story of Bundelkhand region. Lack of rainfall, no perennial river and desertification. So women have to walk 2 kilometers to fetch water. Irrigation is affected, poverty. So this is the introduction, that why we need river coordination, or what is the need for water preservation actually. So the introduction is the need for water preservation. Solution is Kane-Bethwa linking. Surplus to deficit, better planning. The negatives are interstate coordination and lack of legislation. Not only river coordination, judicial and frugal usage, rainwater harvesting and awareness campaign, eco-off, mentioned, saving time. Rohan and the three friends. Not done. Topic समझ नहीं आया. 75. Okay. So I get a lot of data on water now. 35% is in glaciers, 20% groundwater, 2 to 3% fresh water. Women traveling miles to get water, 52% water harvesting, 38% something. Rivers has 2%. Per capita availability is low. Increasing consumption, increasing. So reasons for water, need for water preservation. Then what are the traditional measures for water preservation? India. This is what you've done, no? I can read your writing. Then broad meaning of river coordination. Okay, so the problem is, should I take a look? That water preservation, this copy. Yes, so for water preservation, river coordination is the demand of today. Assam villages are facing water crisis despite having something, a lot of water, etc. It is still facing crisis. So Assam, despite being, is facing challenges despite having Brahmaputra, because it's a lower riparian state. Then we talk about river. Can I take your page? We are facing a problem of river coordination because we have high runoff, freshwater sources are less, flooding leads to loss of drinking water, natural resources are less, water stressed country, water security is an important part for national security, transboundary river challenge, agriculture related. So we saw some data on rivers. We saw the need for river coordination, and online we also saw what is preservation, what is the meaning of preservation, significance of water preservation, challenges in preservation of water, meaning of river coordination, significance and challenges of river coordination. Okay, please hear me out. Significance and challenges of river coordination. In coordination with neighboring states or countries, and we conclude with how coordination can give water to the needy. Now, the problem in most of these essays is that we are writing from the perspective of GS2 and GS3. We're not giving a holistic understanding to the topic. So anyone who wants to add arguments apart from, apart from river coordination or what is water preservation? Like the whole topic. Tell me. What is the answer? Why? Why? Okay, so because river coordination is demand, because right now the our behavior towards water preservation is isolated, and because river coordination is easy, because it just requires few states to come together on the same platform. Easy, it's talks. Okay, it's easy and sustainable. Okay. Okay, so now you're giving me a counter argument or a way forward where you tell me the future ways for water preservation. So I'll just write this down, then we'll see whether we write it in our essay or not, which is way forward, other ways. Okay. Impact of not doing it. What is the impact? But you're telling me the impact of not doing river coordination, and you're telling me that due to climate change, we need to build resilient infrastructure. Doesn't add up. Tell me the impact of not doing it. Copy paste. You're helping. So, okay, it's a scarcity. So this would lead to scarcity, and it's a limited resource not coming back. So majority of workforce is dependent on agriculture. Workforce dependent on agriculture, which requires water, due to which states should coordinate river coordination. Water is the main source of has been a very, very important, big source of, at both level, national and international. Conflict. So a source of conflict, both India and world. Right? Both national and internationally, it's been a point of conflict. What else? So we need to this because isolated, right now isolated approach, and we have we need watershed management. And why? Because we have difference in resource availability varies between states. The resource availability between different states is different. So we need common resource, common good. Water is a common good. Now again, but what I feel is that the essay topic is still not fully addressed. The topic is today. We did not address the demand of today. So now, अगर अभी तक ऐसा लग रहा है कि ये अगर नहीं भी होता topic में, it would have been fine. So a very common problem when we do essays, for example, taking a PYQ, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. We ignore the word simplicity. The best protection a woman can have is courage. You ignore the word best. Girls are weighed down by restrictions, boys with demands, two equally harmful disciplines. You forget equally harmful, or the word equally, harmful disciplines. So what happens is an essay is probably 8-9 words put together. Only 8-9 words put together, or 5, 6, 7 words. And out of which you manage to forget 2 words, 3 words. So you're not doing justice to your topic. The simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Simplicity is sophistication. They're two different things. Best protection a woman can have is courage. That best plays a role. And you should make it a part of your discussion. So for water preservation, river coordination is the demand of today. There is a reason we have today, that increasingly this is happening. So one of the discussion points, actually 2 discussion points come from today. One is it's increasing now as compared to earlier because of unchecked usage and wastage. Second, it's not just a demand of today, it was always there. I'll give you an example here that when our constitution came into being, river coordination is the only subject, interstate river water, Article 262, which is not a part of Supreme Court, right? It has a special article dedicated to it. So our constitution makers also saw that it is an important demand, not just today, since we got independence. So for water preservation, river coordination is the demand of today. This today itself had two implications. Now, the problem which I'm experiencing in this brainstorming is that few of us started with what is water preservation, then need of awareness campaigns, environmental and financial challenges need to be discussed, telling what is water preservation. Now the problem is that this is not the topic. The topic is not water preservation, river coordination is the solution. This is not the topic, right? So what do we do in this topic? We discuss that how river coordination is one of the ways which will help me in dealing with water preservation, and it's one of the most important ways because no matter what, rivers are a main source of water and they are shared between states. Unless the action is coordinated. For example, someone gave me an example of Assam being a lower riparian state. Unless all the states coordinate, there is going to be someone will use more water as compared to the other because we have unlimited needs. Our needs are more than the availability. So now this goes into your essay instead of data on how much fresh water do we have and from which source. Yes? I hope you see the difference that you will have to discuss how and why river coordination is a demand of today. We discussed that because rivers are the ones which are being shared between states. Because river is that source which everybody should have. It's a common good. So now we use all the arguments we had to support our point. Like common good. Yes? And what do we say? Instead of giving data, we say that if I was not doing this river coordination, then no matter what, my efforts would not be successful. So isolated efforts, yes, but we also add to that and say that they will not be successful because a river is long and upstream people are not taking action, downstream it's not helping, right? So we should, and how the way forward. For example, someone gave me a way forward which said what are the other measures for water preservation. Now, instead of giving that way forward of, maybe your expression could have been different, but instead of just saying that, we should go for traditional this, putting that list of things that we do in our GS, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the measures for water preservation. We could have instead done this differently, or saying need of awareness campaigns, environmental and financial challenges should be discussed. So instead of doing that, we could have discussed the way forward as that the river coordination is not just left to the states. All of us play an equal role. It's not just the states. We all have to do something for this river coordination, for this water preservation, right? So all of us, if all of us have coordinated efforts, we'll be able to do this better. That this water preservation is the demand and how we will meet it. So why I chose this topic is that it is a GS topic on which most of us would have some thought or the other. But it's important to understand why are we writing an essay. We are not writing an essay to show our GS content, but to show our understanding of the topic. So when we read content, that river coordination 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is also the stage where you would want to put your answer in bullet points. Firstly, secondly, thirdly. Your essay is lacking a flow now. Now it is just a GS answer, but written instead of bullet points in paragraphs. With firstly, secondly, thirdly, fourthly. Also, however. So instead of doing that, we build a story and we discuss, very rightly said, It's a global challenge, thus requires global effort. So it's a national challenge, requires national effort as well as global effort. So some few of us also wrote only about India. The topic does not say India. We made it about India. So we don't do that. We write about the global effort, and we also talk about from past to present, but not by just saying that, see, the one of the introductions someone had said that I will discuss, aapne kaha tha, introduction, that since always water preservation has been important and how it came into being. So instead of doing that, I could bring examples. For example, when I said right now that our constitution makers also recognized river coordination, so I'm giving a point from polity. When I talk about water crisis and how it has an unequal impact on people, I'm also giving an example from society. So my pestle analysis is happening, but in the form of examples and not arguments. It's important to understand the core of the topic. What is the topic asking? It's not asking you what is water preservation. It's not asking you why we should do river coordination. It's saying for water preservation, river coordination is important. So you give me an analysis of why do we do river coordination in words, not as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Does this help you? Did you understand how to put your GS content, use your knowledge from there, but use it differently? Did this help? Okay. Now we come to starting the essay preparation. So for those who are writing mains, the result is going to be out very soon. So how do we start essay preparation? We just saw that for most topics, you will have some level of content. What is important is for you to understand how to brainstorm. If you're getting arguments when you start writing, now is the time when you start brainstorming and being more effective, because brainstorming is like a foundation to your essay. If you knew in those first 20-25 minutes of what to write and in what order and what examples to give, you would be able to, the only task pending is putting it into words. The only task left with you is you have to put it into words. And for that, you have 1 hour, 1 hour, 5 minutes, depending on the amount of time you took for brainstorming, which is not very difficult. If you notice in this brainstorming, when someone said that I would write why, I also asked, what would you write in why? Then the answer was, I would write isolated, but what is the answer to why isolated? So this is the clarity you should have at the stage of brainstorming. Why are you writing and what are you writing? A very common thing you would do in your essay, not in this one, but in philosophical essays, you would say, I'll give example of Buddha, or I'll give example from Gandhi, or I'll give example from a book or a movie. But the question is, what would you write about that? We often, in our brainstorming, do not spend a minute to identify in the example what is the exact point that I am trying to say. You should know this in your earlier itself. What is it that you're trying to show in your example? Similarly, what is it that you're trying to write in your why? Okay? So we will, so for essay, starting your essay preparation, I would suggest that first is you should ideally take a look at all the topics that we have, go through few topper copies, start at least understanding what does this topic mean to me. Understand what does the topic mean to you, or for a lot of PYQ topics. If you were writing 2024, what topic would you have written on and what does it mean? If you were writing in 2023, what does the topic mean? Do this for a few years. You brainstorm and then you pick your pen and paper and you just write. The first essay you write might be 5 pages, 6 pages, 12 pages, 15 pages. That's okay. You would not know whether I give big paragraph, small paragraph, heading, no heading. That's also okay, as long as you at least start writing. The bigger challenge is similar to answer writing, that we don't write. Brainstorming is not the only solution. Only writing is also not a solution. What is needed is you brainstorm, write, take feedback, and improve on your essay. Then you write an essay again. Because as you write, you will recognize different problems in your writing style. I'll give you an example. When we start writing, one of the first things we will do is we'll have small argument, one line, long examples. You'll start making your example small. Now your essay is not 12 pages. You make it, so the second essay, you make it 12 pages somehow, third essay. Now you're not staying close to the topic. So all of this would require a lot of practice from you to recognize your writing style. So more than working on only finding notes, quotes, anecdotes, content, you should also focus on the only content that you have, how do I use it? In the exam, eventually, you're writing only two essays, and even if you have, like, let's say 20 quotes, you're not using all of them. So we focus on doing multi-dimensional quotes, few movies, few books, which you would recognize as themes that are being used again and again. And that is the themes that you should be looking at and preparing. If we look at the PYQ, you will see many topics from education. For example, we have this topic. Education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school. So even if you prepare notes on education, the topic is, it's at the bottom of the screen, not clearly visible. I'm reading it out. Education is what one has forgotten after one has left school. So even if you've prepared notes on education, it's not directly being applied. What's important, that you look at the topic, you trust your instinct, trust yourself how to think, and think like a grown-up. You think, this will give you a good essay. And then you go back to the content you have, it will be quickly retrievable, and you find examples for the arguments that you created. Okay? So when you start your essay preparation now, please start with the PYQs and brainstorming. This will give you a better understanding of what needs to be done. And this is what we do in classes. We have two kinds of classes and two batches, online and offline. Both are separate this year because, as you can see, I'm not able to respond to the online when I hear offline students, and vice versa. So we have a separate class for offline students and a separate class for online students. And more importantly, we have workshops and theme classes. Workshops will work on what to write. How do you think? What is an introduction, body, conclusion, etc. What to write. And the theme classes will work on not giving you more content, but of course there are handouts and value-added material from the perspective of essays, but how do you use what you have in the context of essay writing? So this is the essay guidance program. Now, do you have any doubts? Please feel free to ask. Any doubts that you have? Thesis statement. Okay. One question is thesis. Any other doubt that you have? How important is it to quote data? What else? How do we connect introduction and conclusion? Introduction and conclusion को कैसे connect करें? Anyone else? Do you have any doubt with respect to essay writing or anything that I said today? No?
After writing the essay, how to analyze it or use the content or get a feedback by ourselves?
So when we do classes, as I read few screenshots today, When we do classes, I will be sharing a lot more of those and helping, and based on my feedback to your points, helping you understand what is right and not. So otherwise, if you're doing the tests, you can always discuss with the mentor of what my essay is. It's targeted both 2025-26. How to prepare content, already discussed. Now, to answer the thesis statement. So a thesis statement, we see that a lot of students, after their introduction, write a paragraph which has many questions. How many of you feel that's a good way of writing your essay? 1, 2, 3. Those who feel it's not a good way, why do you feel it's not a good way? What's the problem? It takes a lot of space, okay? It breaks the flow, okay? So anyways, you're answering it later, so it's like a repetition. It makes it mechanical. So, yes. It might limit you. So the answer is, the answer to how do I write a thesis statement, what is a good thesis statement is when it's broad, you are sure about understanding the topic, and it's not limiting you. Because if you've written 4 points, there's a reason you've written them in the thesis. You're assuming that the examiner's read it. He knows these are the 4 points of discussion. Now, if you get your ideas when you're writing your essay, you don't want to add more because you didn't tell the examiner in the thesis statement. Second problem, you've written those questions, specific questions in the thesis. So you're again writing them again. It's a repetition. So a good thesis statement would be something which is broad, which is not limiting you, and is a general discussion on the flow that you're following. Okay? So do not write very, very specific questions of, in this essay we will discuss 1, 2, and 3. This, yes, because now your objective in that thesis statement was to tell the examiner, I'll be discussing this. But then you eventually realize this is not what I'm discussing. I wanted to discuss more. What if we write the thesis statement after writing the whole essay? You can do that, but again, flow, mechanical. Okay. Data, how much data is important is totally dependent on you. You could be doing essays which have examples, anecdotes, case studies, movies, data, anything. Depends on how much you want. Of course, excess of anything is bad. So we do not write only data. We write data only when it's serving a purpose. The aim should not be, I'm giving a way forward for water preservation, let me put government schemes. That should not be the idea. Because you have GS2 and GS3, right? So the data is not very important, that unless you write data, you don't get marks. Data should serve a purpose of why you're writing it. Then how to connect introduction, conclusion, it's not necessary. A lot of, if it comes naturally to you, please go ahead, connect it. Otherwise, try reading your own essay, 2 essays together. In the second essay, you would not remember by the time you've reached your conclusion what was the introduction. So it is okay, it's good to write, and it's okay to not write as well. It's up to you. His question is, if I'm starting with an anecdote on someone, let's say Mahatma Buddha, so do I have to conclude with him or not? It's up to you. It is not important. You're starting with the story of Manjhi. Do you have to end with Manjhi or not? It's up to you. Reference point is also not important. What is important is that the conclusion should be positive, complete, and feel like a conclusion. It should not be abrupt. This is the only requirement of a good conclusion. It being connected to the introduction or not is not important. It should just not be mechanical. It should have a good flow, feel right, and be correct. That's it. Okay. So with this, I say thank you for coming today. I look forward to seeing you in the essay classes. Thank you.